What's up, guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Build It video, and today I'm going to be answering someone's questions in the comments. The reason that I chose to do a video rather than type them out is because he asked several questions that require lengthy answers, and I felt that it was better that I answer them through actual talking and try to show you what I'm talking about on my screen. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And that being said, let me go ahead and get this going. So he asked me, he's been having issues getting a feeder city to connect. All right, when you first do a feeder city, if you're playing on a tablet or a phone, okay, sorry, hold on. All right, if you're playing on a tablet or a phone, then you are probably logged into your Facebook at all times, okay? Or your Google account, whichever one. Or you're probably logged into both, especially if you have Android. Now, I don't use iPhone, so I can't give you guys a whole lot of information on how you guys do stuff on there. But as far as Android goes, this is what's going to be happening. You're going to go through the tutorial. At the part of the tutorial where they're going to show you Daniel City. At the time that you come back from Daniel City, you will be able to, you'll all of a sudden have this little wrench and screwdriver up here in the top right corner. This is your settings menu. See how it says log into Google Play or log out of Facebook? These options will be available to you. However, if you hit log into Facebook, it's going to show you, let me see if I can get it to pop up. Sometimes it pops this menu up, other times it does not. Okay, it didn't pop it up. But normally what will happen is it will pop up a screen that says, would you like to proceed with this city? And it'll have a green button, and then it will say, would you like to recover this city? And it will show you whatever account that you have connected to that Facebook. If you click recover that Facebook, it's going to automatically load your save data from whatever Facebook it is that you had that saved to. All right. What happens is people have multiple Facebooks on one phone, and SimCity doesn't recognize that. So what ends up happening is you make a feeder city, you go through the trouble of making these new Facebooks, and you go log in, and it logs into your old city because it's not recognizing that. So what you have to do is you have to wipe that old Facebook off. You can't just log out and log into the other one. That doesn't always work. So let's say that you were to you have a whole different phone. Okay, you have a second phone. You log into your different Facebook, a brand new Facebook, go through the tutorial, and then make that the save data. It will work. But if you're using a phone that you have already used for this game, and you are logged into that account, it's going to keep popping that account up. I hope that makes sense. If you make a Facebook and you are finding that Facebook is asking you guys for like an ID, what you can do is abbreviate your first name and then maybe put your middle name as your last name. And then when they ask you to send in the ID, just explain to them that that you want a second account, that it's you, blah, blah. But let's say that you guys are doing Google Play just for save data purposes. You will not be able to link city to city. So when you guys link Facebooks to Facebooks, like let's say you have two Android devices. One has your new Facebook and the other one has your main Facebook with your main city. If you friend yourself on the other Facebook, you will pop up down here in the My Friends section. If you don't see your name pop up, hit the log out of Facebook button like I did, and then hit log back in, and it should sync and update all your contacts. Now, I have 3 phones. One of my phones I use as a feeder city. I use the save data part on my Google account, which means that if I want to recover the city, all I have to do is log into my Google account on any device and I can recover my city. but there's no way for me to be able to connect the two cities for me to travel within both cities. So I have to get that city to level 18 so it can join my club. And then I can go, because my feeder city is right here. It's Jasmine 13. And I can travel to my city because it's in my group. If I was to sync it to a different Facebook, then I would be able to friend myself and be able to sync to it at level 17 and below. If you guys are still having trouble and you have wiped out the device, you've uninstalled the game, reinstalled the game, you've installed a new Facebook, make sure that you log out of all your old accounts so that it doesn't automatically pop that up. If it does, and you should see it say, proceed with this city or override this city, make sure that you click the one that you want to do. Like, don't click to reload your old city. The next question that he had was, and you don't actually have to uninstall and reinstall it. You could just go clear the cache data. That's good enough. If you don't know how to do that, then yes, just uninstall, reinstall, go through the tutorial, but make sure that you are completely logged out of all your old Facebooks and only logged into the one that you want for it to use. And this is exactly why I think SimCity should give us accounts that we can have multiple cities on, because the way we have to do this is a little ridiculous, I think. If you are using BlueStacks on PC, it's going to be much easier for you. You're basically just running an application in the background, and you can run multiple of them. All right. The next question he had was the rebuilding trick, and what are the drawbacks, or basically the downfalls of doing that. You are going to have a huge downfall from doing this. If you choose to do the rebuilding, which is where you upgrade 1 or 2 upgrades on a home, you collect the extra coins, and then you bulldoze. Yes, you will get rich quickly. However, you're going to go up in level quickly. That is going to hinder your epics, your comm, you're going to unlock regionals much quicker if you choose to unlock regionals. Your storage, your dozer, rare find, everything is going to drop. I mean, all around it is a bad idea. It depends on what it is that you want from the game. Basically, and I'm going to go read his comment just here in a second to make sure I covered everything. But if you have a build, okay, so his third question was if I have building requirements and I bulldoze population that was needed to purchase the buildings, will those buildings still be there? So here's what'll happen. Let's say that you need 20,000 population to purchase a building, and you drop yourself below that 20,000. You won't be able to purchase that building again until you increase it, but the ones that you have already purchased, you can still store and pull out of storage. For example, if I click landmarks, see how it says I need 5 Paris homes? I do have this building on several of my maps. If I go on my map and I hit store, it will allow me to store it, and it will allow me to place the ones that I already have, but it will not allow me to buy any additional ones until I meet the requirements. All right. His other question was, if he unlocks a regional map, is it like running 2 cities? No, it is not. So what's going to happen is this is your main factories and your main shops. You can pick these factories and shops up and store them and put them on other maps if you would like to, but essentially the main fundamentals of your city are still through your capital map. All the regional maps is extra land, and they have their own currency and their own HQ, but essentially they don't have their own factories and their own shops. So it's not like running 2 actual cities. So you'll be able to pick whatever one of the 5 that you wish. And then each one of these maps comes with trees. See how these are locked? That's the limestone trees, Sunny Valley, Cactus, Frosty, Green Valley. And then each map also comes with hotspot unlocks, which are in the transportation category right here. These are hotspots that you will unlock depending on which map you unlock. And then obviously you get the map. So let's say that you chose Cactus. If I wanted to put some of my shops from my capital map onto my Cactus map, I could do that. I choose to keep all mine on my capital because it's just easier that way. I don't have to travel just to change my shops. I do keep these ones on my capital because you are going to have one store. So like the oil plant, the resources, and then you're going to have one store that you can build regional items in for each regional map. And this is why I tell you not to unlock these right away, because it's going to make shipments, epics, comm tasks, everything. It's going to increase the difficulty on each and every one of those things by a lot. So choose wisely. I do have a ton of videos up that I recently put up this week that goes into detail and explains all this stuff much better. That being said, I'm going to go and pull up your comments to make sure that I covered everything. I tried to make a feeder city. I don't know what happened, but when I added my feeder city, it added my own city. Okay, so what happened is you just recovered your saved data. I already answered that question. Okay. I'm currently level 15, but I've been purposefully sitting on it, trying to focus on unlocking more storage and map. I'm assuming that this is not your feeder. This is something like your main city. That's why you're focusing on storage and map. Okay, hang on. Sorry, I'm still reading. Okay, so basically whatever it is that you want your feeder city for, if you're having that much trouble saving it to be able to connect to it via Facebook, then just join a group and then connect to your feeder cities that way. What you just have to decide what it is you want from your feeder city. And I have a video up on this, but basically, do you want it to be producing coins? Do you want it to be producing rares, certain items? Just whatever it is that you want it for is what you're going to want to build it around. If you want it solely to do rares, you're probably going to want to make it below level 18 and then connect via Facebook. If you can't do it that way, then you would want to go to level 18 and then shop just rares on there. You're going to want to keep the storage amount low on that feeder city. You're not going to want to unlock any shop slots because you're only going to be using it to fund rares. But if you're doing it for production, you're going to want to unlock some of the production slots. So it just depends on what it is that you want out of it. Okay, right here it says that your my main priorities are expanding my map. I don't care about making a ton of money, but I understand the money must be made to maintain roads and such and such. So roads are not super important early on. You don't want to pay for roads until you're for sure that they're going to be permanent. You can just pick up a building that's along that stretch of road, place it somewhere else, and then the exclamation mark will go away. You can either pick that building back up and place it back down, or you can choose to leave that building placed wherever it is that you have it. But either way, that is not a big issue. I see a lot of people early on waste money on road upgrades, so don't do that. That's a huge waste. Wait till it's a permanent stretch of road and then upgrade it. Making money is going to be a huge thing in this game. Your production line is everything, and you want to get a hold of that. You need to figure out what works best for you based off how often you check in with the game. Typically, you have a list of items that have a higher turnover rate as far as profit goes. Obviously, you're going to want to produce a lot more flour than you are beef because flour turns a higher profit. If you're checking in on your game every 24 hours, it might be wise to put stuff that takes longer to make just so you have it making something. So it really just depends on how many slots you have unlocked, how often you check in with the game. I always recommend that people check in on their shops every 3 hours because that gives you just enough time to come up with the resources you might need to throw down more in your queue. And usually by then you catch it before it completely runs out. Let's see. If you want to unlock the regional map, I strongly suggest you wait. Strongly. It is a big no-no. I guess what I want to hear from you is, what is it that you want out of your city? What is your ultimate goal? Do you want to have one really cool capital city? Are you looking to have every regional and capital city just look phenomenal? Do you not really care? Do you want a lot of epics? What is it that you want? Because if you want it to be successful and you want to have each and every map at its highest potential, you're going to want to follow the building guide that I have up. There's a video I have up about it, but you're going to want to follow that building guide, and you're going to want to make sure you camp low level. Between level 8 and level 18, you're going to want to up your storage to max and up your land to max. You don't even want to leave level 18 until you have a minimum of 400 storage. Between level 18 and 24, you're going to proceed through calm, work your way up to the mega leaderboard, and hopefully win the first place in mega several times. Once you hit level 24, I want you to take any fully upgraded regular residential homes and convert them into gold epics. Once you have every home on your map converted into a gold epic, I want you to upgrade every 3 homes fully upgraded and convert those into epics. During that time, you should be maxing out your beach, your mountain, making sure that all of your land is maxed out, making sure that you're hitting the top in mega, and making sure that you obviously are spending your gold keys on your epic pointers, which I have a video on that as well. Once you've done all that, then, and only then, should you even be thinking about unlocking your regional map. Once you unlock that regional map, those epics are going to be 10 times harder than they were before because it's now going to be asking for regional items. If you choose not to unlock the regional map and you proceed on with your capital and you proceed to level up, once you hit level 31, you unlock hamburgers. The rare find of your game is going to drop drastically, so that's why you want to make sure that you have your storage and your dozer fully unlocked. Once you do that, it's going to increase the difficulty of your epics, which is also why you want all of your homes to be epics. When you unlock the Omega, which I'm not 100% sure what level that is, I know it's somewhere around the 30s, that's when you're going to want to start buying your Omega resources and get all that cluttered power, sewer, garbage stuff off of your map. Once you've done that, and you've got your Omega resources, everything's unlocked, you're, level 30 to 35, that's when you can start to think about how many you should be thinking about buying some Maxis Manors, which the first one's 1,000 cash. Now at this point, you should have had earned several amounts of cash from your winnings from Mega. And this is where you should have all of your store slots fully unlocked, all stores fully upgraded. All factories should be 5 slots apiece. And your Omega, That really depends on if you want to build Omega homes. That's totally up to you. And you should be getting a good idea of the layout of your city and what it is that you want from your city. This would be a good time to stop and consider buying any buildings that you like the look of, because once you level up and you proceed past level 35, the competition in COM is going to increase, and I mean increase really, really bad. Like, you're not going to win it anymore. You're going to be somewhere in the 20s. And unless you plan to spend real money on the game, then you want to stay at the lower competition level so that you have a chance of winning. If you want to spend real money on the game, then you can proceed to level up. But a lot of people make the mistake of leveling up too soon, and then they end up having to spend real money on the game to pull themselves out of the hole that they're in. It can be a free-to-play game, and you can do very successfully at it. But you have to be very, very careful, and leveling up is the biggest issue. So what ends up happening is people that camp at low level and they want to win at COM, they're limited to the amount of mayor's tasks they can do. They can't do home upgrades because they don't want to level up. They have the expansion tasks. Those are good tasks. They have war tasks, which most of them don't have their war cards unlocked, so those are difficult. They have airport tasks, which most people at low level choose not to buy the airport. You're going to want to buy the airport because you're going to need to be able to do those tasks. However, you have to pay cash to bring those flights back. And if you're not winning that same amount of cash, if not more back, then you're wasting money. So then they're also limited to the amount of production they're allowed to do because they don't have any tokens unlocked yet. They haven't unlocked their epic, so production tasks are very tedious. They don't have all 12 factories, so their production tasks on raw materials are very difficult. They don't have any regional tasks, thank God, because those are hell in itself. So they're pretty much limited to earning simoleons and VU. And if they don't have their VU tower unlocked, and that is another thing I forgot to mention, you are going to want to upgrade that fully. So you just want to work that at your own pace. There's no real hurry on it, but the quicker you can do it, essentially, the better off you will be. But it's not super important right away. But that's going to be how you earn your gold key tasks, your repair tasks, your launch tasks, all those. So if you don't have VU unlocked and you don't have airport unlocked and you can't do home upgrades and you don't have regional maps unlocked, what left do you have to do on your assignments? War? I mean, yeah, production? And then earning simoleons. And then you have the Omega tasks, which are usually very expensive, like make Omega canisters. And those ones, I have tips and tricks on all that stuff, but essentially you have to be really careful on how you level up and what you have completed at your milestone points. If you haven't already, go and check out my building guide video. It better explains that. But hopefully I answered your questions. If you have any more questions or you need my help with anything else, or maybe I wasn't clear enough or whatever, please feel free to comment on the video again, and I will do my best to get back to you.